Well, that looks pretty good. Let's get started for today. Oh, anyway, I said we get started. All right. Welcome. I wish everybody here today welcome. Anybody who's watching, all are welcome. All right. What has to be first? For if there be first a willing mind, so keep that in mind. I like to ask the Lord to bless this meeting, and hopefully it reaches your heart, and hopefully from my personal, may God make the person He wants me to be. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. There you go. What are we talking about? That's a good question. All right. We will discover many counseling techniques. If you like these PowerPoints, very simply, I will make them available to you and you can have them free of charge. All you have to do is contact me. Informations and contacts are info@rudimike.ca and of course dailylight.net. And we forgot something here on the bottom. I would like to get the time right. All right, time is going. And, oh well, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's new technology. We will discover many counseling techniques, and that's really good. Keep in mind, what are we going to keep in mind? That's a good one to keep in mind. Just look very quickly. It is, oh, two prisoners. They sit behind bars. The one sees the mud, ooh, and the other sees the stars. There we have already a difference how to look at things. Many times people see only black, and many times it's just as bad, people see only white. Getting to the copyrights very quickly. You are free to share, to copy. You can distribute and transmit the work the way you like. You remix, and there goes the phone. Thank you very much for calling. I'm busy. All my personal notes are not hidden. Phones, they invented all kind of things, didn't they? Sometimes you wish you didn't have them, and sometimes you say, hey, where's my phone? Anyway, so you can see them. I don't hide anything. Copy them, use them freely, and please, if you do, give credit to the original author. And do not sell it. All right, plagiarism. That is the act of presenting somebody else's works or the idea as your own. So you look at that somewhere else and you say, hey, that's my work, and you get, or hope to get credit for it. We started that in school, if you remember. Yeah, we looked over, and what I noticed in school there, that the boys always look to the girls. It seems to be that the girls are smarter, and they surely are at times. And here's a guy saying, what do you mean all my facts are wrong? I copied everything straight off the internet. You have to be careful with the internet also. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. There's an old saying, if you lose your sense of humor, what was the other one? This world is going to crack you. How could I forget that? Anyway, that's a beautiful picture. I wish I had that picture about 5 seconds later, and that would be very humorous. It is humorous already. Every time I see it, I chuckle a little. That is not me. That's just, don't lose your sense of humor. That doesn't mean that you have to walk around like that. Even animals, they can just, they can be quite humorous. Yeah, that's... We will find out that when we look at man's mind, it can become very difficult. And this is only the introduction to easy counseling. And again, there's the address, you can get in contact with me. And here we go, this book is also based on the book by J.E. Adams, Competent to Counsel. If you like to purchase that one, you have a number right here. You can order it from your favorite book dealer. All of my slides, which you will see in the future and the one we're seeing right now, they are available. And you can have them free of charge. All right. That's me. Oh well. Can you teach an old dog new tricks? Well, I believe you can. Come on, jump. All right. There you go. He had a new trick. He loves it. Sometimes they're funny too. So don't lose your sense of humor. Well, don't disturb him. He's just reading the newspaper. I think you can change the mind of people. That's no problem. But many people, they're like this little cat. It's in the box. And it looks out, it feels very secure. It feels like a home. Nothing can happen to me. And if I look out, I see all the bad things, but that doesn't really bother me. And a lot of people have that same attitude. You got to get out of the box. That's very simple. You can't just look outside and then complain about everything. You know, that's, I don't know. Many people, they just look out and they don't care about anything else. But some people do get out of the box, and I want you to come out of your box and forget everything and just see, really, and learn. Some people have a beautiful home and they never get out. They have the big TV and the comfy chair and all of that, and they don't care what's going on the outside. And if you tell them sometimes, they say, oh, go away with that stuff. Anyway, some people even have a big elephant right in their living room. and they don't even notice the elephant in the living room. No, yeah. I hope you do. What I like to see is a person who trusts little from the media. And the person starts their own research. I don't see. No, I don't hear, I don't speak, and that's very, 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 very devastating. And we have that actually with the major, all the major things. You know, the media can be very, very dangerous and can be, I used to say, well, I've seen it on TV, there was a big, 12-foot monkey on the top of the Empire State Building, and it had a woman in the hand, and I've seen it on TV. People are getting so engulfed and trust the TV. It can be very brainy. I just opened up a big can of worms, and it said, do not open. And that's usually trouble. When you open up a big can of worms, you got the worms coming out of the can. But then when you look close, there are some worms what don't look that bad. Anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is make your own research and don't get it from one source, because most of the media will only tell you what they want you to know. They will not tell you the truth. They will tell you only what is in the interest of the station or the owner. All right. When are we going to start? Now let's start with our introduction now. Easy counseling. That's what it's all about. You will learn the definition from the Webster dictionary, the definition of counseling, or what the word means. We also will find out at the little seminar how to advise people, how to recommend, and how to consult somebody. Yeah, you know, sometimes it's really hard to, well, we'll get into that. How to confront somebody. Hey, you know what you did? Anyway, we get into all of that in the future, and how to direct. Hey, that's the wrong way, come this way. Sometimes you're right and sometimes you're wrong. You will learn how to help others who are in a big distress. And how to help yourself. Isn't that great? Alright. There, help yourself. Not too much, please. Help yourself and help others. Alright, if we look out of the box, like that little cat, and finally maybe get out of the box, we will find that when we look at man's mind, it can become very difficult. It is impossible for a man to learn that he thinks what he thinks he already knows. You know, oh, I know that. Oh well. Or a closed mind is a wonderful thing to lose. Well, there's an open mind, but there's probably nothing in there anymore. There will be lots to remember. I many times make a little memory or a knot in a handkerchief or something like that, or a piece of paper, and I write down a phone number, and then I turn around and say, whose phone number is that? Or I guess you have the same problem sometimes. Anyway, there is a lot of things to write down, so sharpen your pencil and start writing things down in your little notebook. There will be many examples. Also, he says, I'm the story worm. I'm going to tell you some stories. Again, when your pencil is sharp and you start writing down things, you will find out that many of my notes come from my older note cards as far back as 1993, which I called the Soul Care Seminar. But that's a while ago. I will show you how to keep a notebook effectively. And you know, the word effectively is a big word. Anyway, that's how it usually looks. And do you know how to become a psychiatrist? If you didn't know, it will take 4 to 5 years of additional study after becoming a medical doctor. Well, so much for that. Can we go home now? Can you tell me who are these people? Alfred Adler, any idea? He is an Austrian and he died in 1937. Or we have Carl Jung. He's a German and he died in 1961. And we have Carl Roger. He died in 1987 and he was English. Okay, and now we have, we're going back to that. Karl Roger actually made a statement. He said that if a counselor, even for a minute, doubted that the client had the resources which within himself, that basically the client had everything within himself, if you doubt that, then the counseling process was lost. Do you know Sigmund Freud? That's probably one of the more popular ones. Almost everybody knows him. 1939 he died, and he was an Austrian. William Glasser. William Glasser is still alive. He was born in 1925 and he is a US citizen. Harry Sullivan. Harry Sullivan. He died in 1949. And J.E. Adams. He is still alive and he was born in 1929. You know, and many more. And I always say that they are all involved in what? In the mind-searching business. Yeah. They want to search your mind. They want to find out why you are doing what are you doing. And when you are doing. Yes, and they like to find out the answer to how can we cure worries and anxiety. Oh yeah. Let me ask you a few grim facts. Have the newspaper headlines improved? Have our streets become more safe at night to walk on? Can you leave your house or car unlocked? Oh boy. There's a quote. Psychotherapy is today in a state of disarray, almost as it was 200 years ago. Now think about that quote. Psychotherapy is today in a state of disarray, almost as it was 200 years ago. In other words, they don't really know what makes you tick. And they have all the chemicals and all the medication and everything. All they basically do, they sedate the person so that the person is mellowed out. That's like when you smoke the joint or has a big bottle of alcohol or whatever, and you don't even realize that you're there or where you are. Anyway, they are still in the same like they were 200 years ago. And that's pretty sad when you really think about it. We unquote that one. The only one I would condone is, of course, is J. Adams. And the reason for that is, like most others, they start with a man and they end up with a man. They're almost worshipping a man. So we will find out more at our little slide seminar. We will learn interesting points at our little slide seminar. We will discover the different techniques which are applied in counseling. We will look at the spade. Oh, that's a nice one. And we will look at the mirror, so you can see who you really are. And we will look at the dog biscuit. We couldn't forget the dog biscuit. Those are the major, those are the major themes. All right. And more. I'm sure I forgot quite a few of them. We will explore some of the fundamental questions which we have to answer. And there are, first, is it medically? That's when you want to help somebody. Or is it physically? Is that because you really don't like your life, or because you're overweight, or so we have to, is it medically or is it physically? Yeah, have you heard that before? I did. You make me sick to my stomach. And that's what some people do to each other. Is the person's problem sickness? I mean, when you're really sick, you know, you could be really depressed. Or is it sin? And here it says, sin will find you out. Then it is it coming from? That's very important. I hope you write that down. Is it coming from within, or is it coming from without? That's a very good question to answer right on the start. What caused the problem? You yourself, or did it come from without? Are the circumstances you're living in causing the sickness? Many families have quite a few problems, and how can you help them? How can you counsel them? If you don't know what's going on at home. And that's not being nosy. All right. Is it external? Like the place you live in? That almost looks like my place. No, it doesn't, but well, it looks lived in. Or is it allergenic? Is it caused by others? Or other things? There, I'll show you another thing right now. Yes, that's how I feel sometimes with the computer business, and especially if they don't work. Or is it autogenic, which means it's caused by yourself? Yeah, that looks very appetizing. Is it caused by yourself? You're eating 15 pounds a day and a big cake, and then you feel really depressed because the way you look. Are you your own worst enemy? And that's so true with a lot of people. Yes, they shoot in their own foot. Is it prescription drugs? That could be a problem. Or illegal drugs. That could be a bigger problem. Is it nicotine? Or is it pot? Well, there's a lot of problems what we can encounter. One of the major problems in the world is probably alcohol. He is hooked now for life, for the rest of his life. Papa. Yeah. And it says very small on the bottom, be filled with the Holy Spirit instead. Alright, many times we see, or I have personally seen examples as that, and that was in a downtown area in Vancouver, and it wasn't a nice scene to see sometimes when you see those situations live, and you wonder, how can you help? Many times it ends up in death. It's a very sad end for ending many times a very young life. Now all good things come to an end, and there's much, much more. There's going to be many, many good points. You can help yourself, or you help a dear friend, or a family member. Do yourself a favor and come to the free seminar and bring a friend. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge and because thou hast rejected knowledge. Let's see that one again. There must have been another one. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge. All right. It's up to you now to learn a little bit more and maybe help others and maybe help yourself. This concludes our introduction and the floor is open for questions, and I hope you're all going to come. All you're going to come and learn a little bit and maybe help yourself, as I said, and help others. Till then, that is Rudimike.